presentation for everybody that was in attendance.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kirby.
Nothing to report on.
Okay, Mr. Locklear.
Nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you so much. At this time, Board, if there are any upcoming meetings or requests to attend any meetings, please let the Board Secretary, as well as Ms. Acuna know. I think the next thing that we have coming up is the annual School Board Conference. So please make plans and preparations to attend that. For our community members, stakeholders, and staff members, on Saturday here in the boardroom, we will have our second community stakeholder forum. This is in regard to our superintendent search. We invite you to come out and share your input, suggestions, thoughts that will help the committee as they navigate through interviewing or selecting candidates that will represent our district and as our permanent superintendent. At this time, we are down to the interim superintendent's report with our interim superintendent, Ms. Casey Fagan.
Thank you. At this time, we'll have our finance update by Ms. Gibson.
Good evening, Chairman and members of the board.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I would like to present to you Florence County School District 3, December 2025 financial updates. Our mission statement, ensuring our students are college or career ready and are productive and responsible members of society. This slide is our district goals. You can go to the next slide. This is our general fund reports are linked to the board agenda and also posted on the Florence County School District 3 website. The general fund approved budget is $35,646,811 for fiscal year 2025-2026. Board approved use of fund balance, $3 million for FY 2025-2026 for the stadium upgrades, $1,200,000 for FY 2025-2026 purchase services, contract services, $1,197,795 for fiscal year 2025-2026, December bonuses, which were for staff bonuses, and the retention bonus, May 2026. $147,950 for FY 2024-2025 carryover funds still exist, which are for career modules, network equipment, dual enrollment, student club field trips. $7,262 for FY 2023-2024 carryover. Balance is still for band instruction, repairs, and supplies. So FY 2025-2026 general fund approved budget plus board approved use of fund balance is now $41,199,818. This is the general fund by object as of November 30th, 2025. Also, I would like to include in my presentation that we had until January 9th in order to submit our audit, due because it was a draft when it was presented to you. Our audit was submitted last week on Thursday 11th. So we went ahead and submitted it early. We didn't want to wait. Also, I'd like to thank you all for the bonuses that you gave out to us as the board approved. Thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
No questions. Thank you, Ms. Gibson, for your report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we will have our HR updates from Ms. Angela Scott.
Good evening.
Our personnel report for December of 2025. We actually want to begin with our recognitions. On December the 2nd, we recognize National School Education Day. And on December the 9th, School Finance Appreciation Day. We do want you to introduce you to the teams. Our special ed department, and you'll see that this is actually 3 slides of special ed. Our special ed staff brings the heart and the hope to every classroom. It's through their dedication and their expertise that they create environments where every student feels valued, capable, and empowered. So we appreciate all that they do to help our learners shine. We also are recognizing our finance team as well. Our finance team, of course, plays a vital role in the success of our district. We talk about numbers and budgets and payroll and lots of problem solving, and our finance department does it all with skill and a smile. So they ensure that our schools are supported each day. We appreciate each one of these groups.
Let's give them a round of applause.
Just another shameless plug, of course, our applications. If you want to sign up for vacancy announcements to come to you regularly, please sign up using our constant contact link, which is also found on our website as well. Tonight, we're presenting to you proposed calendars for the 2026-27 school year. Just a couple of reminders, the number of days that are needed for the calendar. Our student days, we must have 180 student days, 10 teacher PD days, and 3 inclement weather days as well. So we began with our initial calendar drafts that we sent out. We had 89% of the district that actually responded. Originally, we had draft A and draft B. Looking at the comparison chart here between draft A and draft B, one of those things that stood out a lot was the week-long intercession. And you can see that in our original draft, draft B won out, with draft B earning 57% and draft A 36%. We then received notification that South Carolina Code 59-1370 required that all South Carolina public schools be closed on general election days in November of every even-numbered year, not just the presidential election. As a result, the original calendar option needed to be adjusted. We did that, and we sent 2 additional drafts to our employees to vote on. Now, the second drafts were based on calendar B because they selected calendar B. Here you have a comparison chart that looks at the original draft for calendar B, then draft 1 and draft 2. You'll see that the differences between draft B1 and draft B2 would include the student start date, one July 29th, the other July 30th. It would also change the professional development days, with one having a professional development day in October, and B2, having that extra PD days at the beginning of the year. Now, this was a very, very close, very close. And we called and texted and made sure that everyone who would vote would vote. The calendars are very similar. Those were the only differences. Draft B2 actually won out by 1 vote.
Amazing.
But it won, right?
And so tonight, we are presenting to you draft B2 for review and approval. Are there any questions?
No questions. Board, at this time, I'll now entertain a motion regarding calendar for 2026-2027 school year, specifically draft B2.
I'll make a motion to approve the 26-27 school year for draft B2.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Rebecca Yates and a second by Ms. Maddie Thomas. Is there any discussion? None being noted, all in favor to approve the calendar for school year 2026-2027, specific calendar draft B2, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Ms. Scott.
Thank you. Next, we'll have our instructional update from Ms. Mary Howard.
Good evening, board chair and board members.
Good evening.
All right, tonight our instructional updates will refer back to Goal 2, academic achievement and the success of all students, and Goal 3 with the reading readiness. You've heard from Mr. Jamie and the progress that they're making with their acceleration program over at Lake City Early Childhood Center. So we are keeping the course. We really want to deepen the work that drives results for our district. We are proud of the progress that we're making, but we still have some work to do. So we're looking at our systems and what are we doing in the instructional area to align things and to make sure that we're providing the supports that we need to continue to grow and to close the gap. So we wanted to keep our focus on the admin and teacher support going in. The DIP team usually goes in and do school visits. We meet with the administration team. We talk about what's working, what's not working, what tweaks need to be made. We also look at what professional development is being provided in those areas of need. High quality teaching. We're still focused on that backwards design process with using the assessment piece and working our way backwards from our assessment results. We're looking at our POCs, which those are the weekly meetings within schools or every other week for those professional learning communities for the ongoing professional development piece of things, with our instructional coaches leading some of those, but also our administration is leading them in some buildings as well. Our professional development piece, keeping that pulse on literacy, we're continuing with providing additional literacy support. We do have people who are still in the letters cohort. We're looking at the progress there. We started early childhood letters for our 4K teachers, so they will get that support. That course is only a 1-year course, so we're in the middle of that one now for our current 4K teachers. Also providing iReady PD for our staff members and for our administrators. So even when we come back on that January 5th day, elementary administrators will have an iReady PD to look at our mid-year results, talk about next steps, where students are, who's moving, who's not moving, what do we need to do as the next steps. So administrators know what we are looking for in buildings and how can we help to support our teachers. Also in second semester, we'll be looking at our secondary math PD, coming in and supporting those higher level math classes, looking at the supports needed for those teachers, especially for our end of course classes. and things of that nature. And we're also always looking at opportunities that we can send our staff members to conferences that relate to the areas that they're teaching. And then last but not least, that driving part of this journey is that learner-centered decision-making, looking at our data and really using our data with what interventions we have in place, working with Ms. Thomas with the MTSS program or process, with determining the multiple levels of support that students need, looking at what interventions are being done at each level to keep our course going so that we can make sure that we continue to make strides and improvement in our data. Tonight I do have, last month we talked about our schools that will have to complete a turnaround plan or a continuous improvement plan. So those schools are Dr. Ronald McNair and Lake City High School for being underperforming. So those principals will come next and share their goals and plans as we move forward. We will need action on the plans that their board approved to submit that back to the State Department. So we'll have Ms. Edie first. And as Ms. Edie comes up, she'll be sharing a little bit of data, but also her goals and strategies for her plan. I'm sorry, you were first.
Good afternoon.
Edie.
When you look at Dr. Ronald McNair, you'll see the progress over time with us. We started last year with a below average of 33. This past year we had below average, we was at 35. If you look over to the left, it tells you what you need in order to get average. So we were a point away from being an average school this school year. So that's our growth between the last 2 years. Now we did come up with some goals. Once we got the data back, we came up with 3 goals. The first goal is the ELA goal. We want to move from 36.5% to 45% by the end of this school year. Our second goal is our math goal, where we started at 12.3% and we want to go up to 30%. We do realize that in the next 5 years we have to get to 75%, so that is why that is a great increase there on math, because we're gradually trying to make up that time right there that we need to catch up there. And goal 3 is on chronic absenteeism. One of the things that we know is we got to get our kids to school in order to teach them, and we know that if they're not at school, then there's no way that goal 1 and goal 2 can be met. So our chronic absenteeism rate was at 37% last year, and we're trying to get it under 30%. Now we look at goals and goals. There are things that we realize that we're doing well at Ron McNair, and there's things that we know are opportunities of growth for us here at Ron McNair. We know that one thing is that we're no longer a CSI school. That's one of our goals. We've been working overtime trying to get off that list. We just didn't want to be on it anymore, and our kids stepped up and did what they needed to do, and our teachers stepped up, and so we're off that list. Last year we also had a 95% teacher retention rate. It is one of the harder to have staff schools, but we were able to staff it and hold on to our people. So that was something that we were very proud of. We had 6 students that over the summer, they actually went to the summer school program, and during that program they did a writing competition, and we had 6 students that actually win that competition. It was an essay competition.
All right.
So we were proud of that. Our ELA scores, we did great, and then we dropped 1 year, but we're proud to say that this past year we went up 14.9% in ELA. So we're getting back on track, and like I said, we're trying to continue to make strides. Last but not least, when I looked at our school report card, we had 61.9% student progress for our lowest performing students, the students in the bottom 20%, and that was higher than the state average.
All
So
right.
that was something we was very proud of. Our growth, we know our math is our growth. It's a concern that we've had over the years. It's really hard for us to get math teachers in and keep those teachers, and so we're struggling there, but that's one of the things that we're working on, that academic achievement level in math. I just told you about attendance, getting our kids to school. And the last thing that we wanna work on is we wanna have more small group instruction. Because our kids are so far behind, we need smaller class sizes. So that's one of the things we're asking our teachers to try and work with kids in small group. We have interventionists that are trying to do that, to pull certain kids. We looked at who had the most greatest needs, and those kids are being pulled 2 or 3 times a week by interventionists, so that we can try and help them grow. So we're definitely doing intentional things to make Ron McNair a better place. Other strategies, we're using Read 180. We realize that Read 180 will help our students in Math 180 to get those foundational skills. We know a lot of those kids miss those skills. 5 years ago, we all know what happened, and so those kids missed those skills in 2nd grade or either 3rd grade, and so we're trying to catch them up through Read 180 and Math 180. Not only that, we're focusing on what we call our bubble kids. Those are those students that they're right there on the cusp of making it. They're at approaches, and we're trying to get them to meets. And we have a large number of students in the approaches category, so we are pulling those kids and intentionally trying to put them in small groups. We are continuing to do our Leader in Me program. We do want to make sure that we are educating the whole child, so our Leader in Me program and the PGIS program we still have, so that our kids are developing those leadership skills. We do provide attendance recovery and content recovery. We started that in our after-school program, so that if kids are struggling, we want to catch them early so that they can start regaining whatever they're missing. We also are trying to have more goal setting. We want to have goal setting conferences with students and parents. We want our kids to be able to tell you what their MAP scores are. We want them to be able to tell us where they're at in SE rating, whether they're at C's, meets, approaches, or below average. Whatever it is, we want our kids to know, because if they take ownership of their learning, we realize that they'll do better about it. We are doing intentional walkthroughs and coaching sessions with teachers that we know need it. We want to try and make Tier 1 instruction better. Tier 1 instruction is instruction for all students, and we know Tier 1 instruction is not up to par, and it's going to be hard for us to meet our goals. And last but not least, we weekly are meeting with our teachers. They're doing PLCs, and they're focusing on math and ELA strategies. Our students they have math time every week where they actually do just math in their advisory, and they also do ELA where they write, and they do other ELA strategies and advisory every week. So those are the things that we're doing at Ron McNair. Any questions?
How have you, or how are you incentivizing these goals?
So I'm having to do little things because my budget is my budget. And so we're doing the little things. It might be I give them something to snack on, or either give them an extra little time out as a class. It's not anything big. And the biggest thing I think is just saying their names and letting people know that they're doing well. We have our programs, like we have our student of the month, staff of the month, so we're trying to do those things. Again, we don't want to reward the kids every time, because then they're going to look for the reward and not any of the goals in the future. But we do the little things.
No question, but I just want to say thank you, Ms. Edie. I like the part about the small group, taking that initiative, because I know that will help a whole lot there with our students. And also allowing them to take ownership in their reading skills there. I think that's great. I like overall what you said tonight. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Is the parents participating you with this attendance?
You said parents?
Yeah, are they helping you
So
with
we
this?
actually have to contact parents quite often. We're having to do truancy plans. It has been a struggle with some parents. There's some parents that they are great. They do everything they can. There's some parents I understand they have to work, so we have to make arrangements. So we're trying. We keep reaching out. And if I can't get a parent, then my SRO will also always take a administrator to someone's house. They just did that the other day. So we're doing all we can. We have to have the parents involved.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think the 95% teacher retention rate is
great.
to be applauded.
Any other questions? Thank you all.
Thank you.
Next up, we'll have Mr. Cook with his plan for Lake City High School.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, how are y'all?
Good evening.
So I want to start out, we are pleased with some growth that we're having, but we're not satisfied. So don't get them too confused, so we're pleased with what we're doing. but we're not satisfied, okay? So if you'll go on this first slide, and I know that's kind of hard to see, but that is the actual report card data from 22-23, 23-24, and in this current year, this past year, 24-25. So with that first category, you see academic achievement, that is English and math. That's all it is. Algebra 1 in the course exam and English 2 in the course exams. So we were unsatisfactory, went to below average, and then this past year we fell back to unsatisfactory, okay? Now, I'll talk about more about that in just a few seconds. Prepares for success, that is biology in the course exams, U.S. history in the course exams, okay? That's 10 points on the report card, and that's been unsatisfactory for 3 years, okay? Now, there's been growth there, but getting to that point to get off that list, again, that's, I'm gonna hit on that in just 2 seconds. Graduation rate, it was unsatisfactory at 67. Last year, 2 years ago, we went to a 70. This past year, we went all the way to an 80. So we're excited about that 80.1 that we got graduation rate. They worked really hard. They worked really hard on that. College and career readiness was below average with a 35. Then we went to a 39. This past year, we went to 55. So pretty excited about that big jump there with college and career readiness. School climate, you can see what that is. It was good, then average, then good. And then the student success rate, the last category, has been below average the last 2 years. So that student success rate really tracks with your graduation rate, okay? Making sure kids are on track to graduate on time within that 4-year period. Now, going back to the academic and prepare for success, we improved in every category. So our percentages went up in every category except English 2. However, with the help of our DIT team, I learned something. So kids, if they drop out and leave, whenever their graduation date comes up, they hit you on graduation rate, and then every end of course exam they didn't take, right? So all that comes to fruition, so all that has to be added in. Okay, so we were celebrating, I think I can show you on that slide right there. That English 2, it says 46.3 is what the state has. We were tracking at 51%, so that's how much it failed over that one item. So, but our goals here, by the end of this year, we want college and career readiness to go from 55% to 60%. We want high school to graduation rate to go from 80% to 85%, even though that 90 would be great because that's an excellent rating, okay? We're gonna get there. Might not be this year, we shoot for it. And then also in the course exams, we want to improve by 5%, all right? We just took a round of in-the-course exams. We're excited about the scores. I know I can't talk about them, but we're excited at how the kids perform and how the teachers do, all right? Now, action plan strategies, what we're doing, we've implemented flex time. So flex time is a 30-minute block during the day where students, it's actually what it means, it's flex, it's flexibility. So students can pull the kids that they need to bring them back for remediation, or catching up on assignments, or they missed the day and need to get some work completed, get it done. Transcript audit, that is a huge piece because every kid, you gotta be intentional with every single kid, what they're taking, making sure they're passing, and making sure they're getting 24 credits in the 4-year time, all right? Sometimes they go behind as a 9th grader, so that means you gotta figure out a plan to catch them up down the road, right? Extended school day programs, after school, Saturday school, before school, we have those implemented. PLC and data meetings, we do those weekly and bi-weekly. We did provide EOC workbooks for our end of course exam, end of course classes, which is U.S. history, biology, algebra 1, English 2. We do have a math interventionist on campus, so she goes into the classrooms with our math team. They work together, they look at data, they look at kids. They also pull kids out in small group, whatever she needs, and then our district math liaison. So we feel like we got a pretty solid plan, moving in the right direction. Now it's just making it come to fruition. And that's all. Any questions?
What do you see as your biggest challenge with the students?
Biggest challenge with students? So they're from 15 to 18, right? And in life, and I'm just being honest, I'm not making up something. You got everything. So you're the teacher, the administrator, the counselor, the mom or the daddy sometimes, a little bit of everything. So dealing with all that and getting but then also not losing sight that they are kids. Even though they're young adults, 14, 15, they're not supposed to know it all. But navigating through that, yes, you messed up today, but what are we gonna do the next couple days? Right? Or you made this mistake, but you know what, it's not life altering. We can still fix it, okay? So letting them understand that, but then also giving them the hope, knowing that, yeah, I failed 3 classes last semester, now what? Well, here's the plan we got in place, okay? So I think that's a big challenge that we have, but I hope we're tackling that.
And the parents,
Thank you.
participation with you with these challenges these students are facing?
Parents, kind of like Ms. Charm said, it's the same. So we got a lot of really good parents that are there. When I call parents, they come out for discipline reasons, for academic reasons. We try to stay in touch with them often. Some, they're absent, can't find them, right? So we're having to deal with it, you know, accordingly. SRO to the school with an admin, whatever that takes. But a lot of communication takes place, trying to talk. So would it could be better? 100%. But you know, everybody could be a little bit better. So.
What are we doing about these students? There are times I see them on bicycles riding by my house. And I see the clear book bag on their back. And they look like they could be middle school or high school students. So whenever these students are missing a lot of days, what do we have in place for them? I mean, you know, when you see all of the absences from maybe 1 or 2 students all the time. Do we do something like the SRO, somebody can go to the house or something to check on them and see why they aren't in school?
So we do, now we don't, I'm not gonna say daily, okay? But we do check on those kids. We try to check on them. Ms. Nikki's our attendance person. She takes care of that. Coach Lowe does truancy. So trying to track those kids, where they are and what are they doing and why are you not here? Well, I say too much sometimes, I think. But I tell our kids, just because you wake up and you don't feel great, I still need you at school, come on. Like I don't mean this wrong, I heard every morning, I'm getting to that age, I reckon, right? So we have those real conversations and really just try to talk with them, get out of bed and come on. Some parents I've had to talk with, I can't get them out of bed, I don't know what to do, she won't come to school, he won't come to school, what do I need to do? They actually call the police office, the police department to come out to see kids, to talk to them that way. Now, we do home visits, we try to incentivize, we try to catch flies with honey, right? But at the same time, because if you're not coming to school and then I turn around and suspend you for not coming to school, then what have I done?
Get it works.
You see what I mean? So it's kind of like, don't cut your nose off, spite your face, so trying to figure that out. Chronic absenteeism is huge across, I'm gonna say state.
Nation.
Nation.
Just getting kids to come to school. We do attendance recovery and have them come before school, after school, on Saturday school, and it's like, well, I need this many days, what am I supposed to do? You got all these opportunities, why aren't you coming? Well, I don't have a ride, or I'm working, I'm doing this, or I'm doing that, okay? Now, but it's still the law says this, so we gotta get this done. Okay, so I know I didn't answer your question directly, like if we see a kid, now we have, I mean, if I seen a kid come across the bridge in Matthews Road, I pull off side road, like, well, what are you doing? Where are you supposed to be? You know? And I know that's a little different, that's for me, okay?
All right, that same thing with our police department. I noticed one time somebody said they saw the kids downtown a lot. Our police department participating you with this truancy?
I can't say truancy, but I know that I've had multiple parents call, and because they can't get their kid out of bed and can't get them to go to school, they call the sheriff's office. I had one that wouldn't get out the car at school, right? So, I mean, so we fight those battles and we deal with those type of stuff.
But that's what I'm saying, you have participation from the sheriff and the local?
They do it.
Okay.
And I know they have their rules and laws they have to follow,
Okay.
and they're always willing to help us out.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
So Board Chair, we do need a motion to accept the continuous improvement plans for both locations.
Okay, Board, at this time, I'll entertain a motion regarding the continuous improvement and turnaround plans for Dr. Ronald E. McNair and Lake City Early College High School.
Mr. Chairman, I make that motion.
Second.
To approve.
To approve,
You got
I'm
to say
sorry.
what you.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Ms. Paula Morris and a second by Dr. Julia Mills. Is there any discussion? None being noted, all in favor to approve the submitted continuous improvement plans for Dr. Ronald E. McNair and Lake City Early College High School, say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes.
Okay. Our next thing, we have some good things that are happening in the district as well. This first slide is Roots for Kids. It's mini grants for teachers. At Olanta, we had 3 grants awarded. Dr. Ray, which is the Math Interventionist Kids grant, is based on friendly robotic reading partners. Ms. Angela Welch also wrote a grant for Reading Warms the Heart for a family night event to increase that literacy-rich environment. And then Ms. Mindy Ola, one of our 4K instructional assistants, 5K instructional assistants, wrote a grant on agriculture. You know, many of our schools do have chickens and things, so they're going to be using some of those funds to do feed and to upkeep of that. Our next slide, we want to give a huge thank you and shout out to our Career and Technology Education Program, our CTE program. The CTE program actually made buddy benches for our elementary schools and had them to delivered to each school. So, Mr. Burgess, thank you and your department so much for providing the buddy benches to our schools. And then at Scranton Elementary, we had a lot rocking and rolling. The kids were so excited in that middle picture about their new playground. And then they had Cocky to come for a reading there. They did a canned food drive. They served 30 families in need in the community. And then Ms. Heidi Poston won the Santee Electric Christmas card contest. So Ms. Kirby, thank you to you and your staff for all the great things that you were doing. Serving those families was a great. And then our upcoming events. I cannot believe that the first semester of school is over. Tomorrow starts winter break for our faculty and staff and our students, and we'll be on winter break from December 19th to January 5th. On January 5th, our teachers will return for professional development, and we have a variety of professional development scheduled on that day for both teachers, staff members, and administrators. And then on January 6th, our students return. On January 29th, we want to extend a warm invitation to you to join us at Dr. Ronald E. McNair School of Digital Arts and Communications for our Dr. Ronald E. McNair program. It will be at 9:30 a.m. His family will be in attendance, so you will be getting a personal invitation sent to you, but I wanted to give a save the date so you can go ahead and mark your calendars for that. And then on January 30th, our district spelling bee will be here at Blandon Street Auditorium at 9. So please mark those dates on your calendars. We would love to have you to come out to join us for those festivities. Do you have any questions for instructional updates?
No question, but Mr. Chairman, may I say something to Olana?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to say to Olana Elementary School, community and Ministry of the Move for Christ, they donated canned goods to us for the community. And on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, we took meals to the community, and we had 37 bags, 13-gallon trash bags with those canned goods and other items that was donated to give to the community. And without those children's help, we could not be successful. So I want to say to Mrs. McKnight and to Olana Elementary, thank you so much for your donation to Ministry of the Move for Christ and community as we go out to give to the community.
Thank you, Ms. Howard.
All right. Thank you guys and have a happy holidays.
Thank
Same
you,
here.
too.
I'm gonna ask Mr. Blake to come and he's gonna share, but one thing I did want to, let you guys know about is that starting in January, we'll have the student success coaches. And that was that grant that Ms. Tanyell wrote, the Stronger Connections grant that I told you about, I think it's about 2 months ago now. And those, coaches are in each school, and their job is to identify those kids who are chronically absent, make home visits, and try to engage the parents to get those students back in school regularly. So there was definitely a need there. You heard attendance from both of the principals, and that's what our student success coaches will be working on, with the families, helping them understand the importance of attendance and helping them get those students back, in school regularly. So I just wanted to share that with you before, Mr. Blake comes and shares about, Panther Academy.
Ms. Fagan, can you please prepare for us data on each school's truancy?
I sure
The number
can.
of students that are truant?
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to, before I begin, I want to also share that the alternative program plays a huge part in supporting our gen ed schools. And from time to time, and I speak with principals daily about students with chronic absenteeism. We work together to ensure that a student may be placed in the virtual program because there may be a situation where they're just not wanting to come to school. We have had students who've done well within the virtual program, outside of just being in a regular brick and mortar school. So we put a lot of efforts in making sure that our students do have flexible options to make sure they receive their education. Okay? All right, I'm going to update you on our alternative programs, and I was asked to bring back potential options for spaces that may be located potentially on Lake City High School's campus, and I'm excited to share our options today. And the objective of tonight's meeting is just to provide context and options which will allow students an opportunity to sustain their learning as well as overall well-being while being in an alternative educational environment. Option A, we were able to find an academic wing in the main building of Lake City High School. And I'm really excited about this, or we're really excited about this opportunity for our students. I did list some pros and cons. I guess one of the biggest pros was that the program will be housed in a brick and mortar building. The entire program will be in one central location. And I shared, just as I shared last month, staff members will be able to support each other. We're excited about that. And we did feel like the learning environment would have been more inviting. So we're excited about that. Just a couple cons. Our scholars will be will be in closer proximity to our Lake City High School students, but, and I'll share a picture in the next slide, but it is a situation where it is isolated from the regular setting. But I just want to share there's a con, they are in closer proximity, where they were in a further proximity in regards to being in the mobiles. But I just want to share that as one of our cons. And there's no, so it won't be like a true separation, but it is blocked off enough in which we would be able to sustain the program without any hiccups. We feel really confident in that. We do. Okay. All right. Our next is a picture of the academic wing, and I'm just going to give you some context of this. So if you were to walk into Lake City High School's campus, if you would go towards the front office, but you turn right, the academic wing is going to be for the alternative program on that side of the campus. That's where the students will be housed at. And that's the first picture is just that double door, that new safety door that was put in place years ago. And then beyond that, you'll see the hallway in which the kids would be located potentially. Okay. Option B would be to allow our scholars to remain in the mobiles within the high school's campus. And the pros, students will be more separated, as we shared earlier. Another pro, staff members will still be able to support each other. One of the cons would be that students will be located outside in the mobile classrooms. And the program will be a bit more spread out, just not having mobiles right there, clearly right beside each other, enough space. That would be a con. But we did, and I'm proud and excited to say we did go with option A. We know that both of these options were viable, but we went with option A, being in the building, and this will give students an opportunity to still be successful academically. We felt like it's in an isolated enough area in which we can sustain the program and support our schools within our school district and our most precious commodities, which are our students. And I did put on the next slide, next steps. One of the things that we'll do is to review and reevaluate the program in the interim. When I say in the interim, we'll do that often, just to see how things are going, especially early on, and as well as at the end of the school year. Are there any questions?
Yes, sir, I have one, well, I have a couple.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in the building where this is at, is this the same hall when we toured the, y'all took us on the tour of the school, Mr., our chairman had us to tour the school, and it, is this the same hall that Mr. Cook was telling us about, where he was using it for, the testing, where the teachers was using it for testing?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the same hall?
Yes, ma'am, same hallway.
Okay, and, well, that day, I know Mr. Cook was, he loved it that so, because he said that, you know, how the teachers and the students
Right.
and everybody, so how is this gonna affect now?
So I'll say this, so testing is not, it's not a test, the testing window is not large. And so Mr. Cook and I have talked about ways that we can make this work out, even if it's a relocation just for the testing window, but just, we would still make it work out for the betterment of both parties. That's our goal. We've already talked about that and discussed that.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The reason why I'm asking, because I don't want us to go back, I want us to go forward.
Yes, ma'am.
And so if it was so good, if this hall was so good for the testing,
Right.
and then now we getting ready to change it, then will it, cause a problem there? Because we just need to move forward. That's the way I'm there. And then the other question I want to ask, Mr. Blake, at the last board meeting, the question was asked, are we gonna lose any employees in this transition? And your answer was no. And I found out that we're not gonna have, Mr. Patrick Pinkney anymore with us. Am I right or wrong?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
He's still gonna be here?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay then, so let me say this, and this is to Casey and Tanya too. It's about the Stronger Connection Grant. Is that I said I met with them about this grant to find out what the grant was, and I still got it with my markups and everything. And the objective that I look at is that everything that this grant's supposed to be doing, Mr. Patrick Pinkney was already doing it.
Got it.
Innovator was already doing this. Meeting with the parents, making sure the attendance, we talk about attendance tonight,
Yes, ma'am.
finding these children, making sure that these children, when children, 13 years old in the 5th grade, he's working to make sure to help. So what I couldn't understand is this, and this is not for you, this is now, go back to Tarnell and Ms. Fagan, is that why he could not been a waiver right in this grant, because he's already doing, he was already doing everything this grant says. So, and he's been here 25 years, why couldn't we have included him in this so that he still could, to help us? And I'm right back at this point, I don't wanna see us go back, I wanna see us move forward.
Yes, ma'am.
And go ahead.
The student success coach positions were advertised, so anybody could have applied for those, and Ms. Tanyell did the interviews from those that applied. And now that is not the way the grant was written, that is a stipend. That's not
Yeah, I know you
it's a
told me that,
stipend
I
position.
understand that, but I still have to ask these questions, because like I say, I don't wanna see us go backwards, I want. Then, why interrupt? That's
Well-
my feelings there.
Yes, ma'am. So last time we met, I was asked to explore options, and that's what I did. And link. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna work it out so it's a seamless process. It's not gonna be a hindrance on either the alternative group or Lake City High School's teachers. We're gonna work together to make this a viable option and solution. Yeah, we're gonna work together. And I assure you of that, because I'm the director of secondary education, and I know the importance of testing and making sure the testing environment is aligned with what we need to do. And we talk all the time, And that's one of the things that we believe in, that kids need to be in a testing environment that's gonna be most conducive for them to have the most positive outcomes. And so Mr. Cook and I, we will work through that, and we're gonna put some things in place and measures to make sure that those kids are in a nice, safe, conducive testing environment.
Okay, and finally, as we do this, let's keep our staff morale up too
Yes, ma'am.
in this change. Let's don't make some of our staff do less than others.
Right.
You know, as you do the displacement and stuff, and you have to change things around. Let's make sure of that too, because, our staff morale has been very good in this district for some years. And I hate to see the morale go down. I hate to see us lose any children from this district, and I'm being honest here. And change, and I'm not like a wet baby. A wet baby is the only one that, you know, don't want to accept change. I can accept change. You know, a wet baby is the only one that want to change. But I can change, and I want change for the better. I've been here long enough and see when it was worse, and I don't want us to go back. I don't want us to see go forward. So my prayer is that, that we can come together and make the good decision for our staff and for our students here in this district, you know. And not just to please some people, but to make sure that our focus is our children.
Yes, ma'am, and I'll say this, back, and I can't think how many years ago, when we rebranded the alternative program, I hold the alternative program dear to my heart. I just want to make sure I say that publicly. And, you know, we invest a lot of time, effort, and resources in our students. We have an excellent staff. They're flexible, and they're all valued. And one of the things that I've not shared this with the group already, I'll be a bit more hands-on with the program. I know we have an alternative administrator, but I will be more hands-on, especially through this transition period. Because we don't want to go backwards. And, you know, just who we are in Florence 3, our goal is to move forward. We always talk about forward thinking, being flexible to different models. So I'm excited about the opportunity. And if I were to poll the staff members, they're excited about the opportunity too. And if I were to poll all the staff members, I mean, I can't say 100%, but I assure you, you never get 100% on anything. But if you poll the majority of the staff, they're really excited about bringing all the kids back together and the potential of what we can do to just strengthen what we've already started. And I'll be more than happy to come back with reports often to kind of share some of the successes. And even if we have to bring some of the members of the group to kind of share some of the work that they're doing, I wouldn't mind doing that. I think that'd be important as well. So you're hearing from them who actually in the trenches doing the work as well. Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Blake, I want to congratulate you because it seems like we dragging you back and forth, because one said bring you inside the building, and another say no. So I want to congratulate you because you went back and you saw what you could change, and I want to congratulate both of y'all for working together. And before I knock it, let's try it. And then if you bring us back a report and it's not working, then we work to fix that, right? And we don't do testing. Do we do testing every day? How often do we do testing?
At the end of each semester at the high school, so
Okay, so-
some in December, some in May.
Okay, so this is not something that we need to take up high. We can just keep this right here on the same level.
No, like I said, Mr. Cook and I, we've had extensive conversations about that. We're on the same page in regards to this.
So it's something that y'all can work together with?
Yes, ma'am. I assure you, I'm 100% sure on that.
Okay, so I'm gonna trust you on this because we asked you to do something, and, I wanna congratulate you, because you did the lickety split and came back with a plan, so congratulations, and I wanna appreciate you for working with you. And as long as that, we ain't not testing every day, I think it's gonna work. So congratulations on, listening to a board member, accommodating a board member, and we thank you for that.
Any other questions?
No further questions. Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Staten.
I just wanted to say, this will start in January,
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we've already started the process, yes, ma'am.
and I want to say too, thank you for looking at other options.
Yes, ma'am.
I was the one that was so opposed to you being in those.
Right. It's a team effort.
And when I went home and told my children,
who, you know, all graduated from Lake City High School, and all
Yes, ma'am.
gonna move to return to school in the mothers.
Excuse me.
They couldn't believe we still have those mothers.
Right.
And one graduate, the last one graduated in 2005, so think about that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
They need to go. We need to get rid of them.
We'll keep you updated for sure.
Thank you.
Thanks for your support. Yes.
I just wanted to keep you updated on our enrollment. All right, our enrollment is holding pretty steady. You can see that, this was the end of last week, 26, 28. So very similar to the numbers that I brought you, last month. The next slide, with the renovation at the stadium, soccer team, needed a place that they could play some games in Lake City. If not, we're gonna have to do all of the games on the road. And so, what we have done, Mr. Huckabee recommended this, and or Coach App jumped on it immediately, contacted Carolina Academy to see if they were willing to let us at least have a couple of home matches where the kids could have that experience. So you can see the dates there that they have approved for us to use their facilities. And we're gonna provide security, and they're gonna keep the gates for those, and are not charging us a fee. So we are very thankful to Mr. Scotty and the board there for accommodating us in this unique situation. So those dates there, and we originally thought it was gonna be 3, but it has been expanded to 4. So those are the dates that we will have our soccer at Carolina Academy for our home games. All right, and it, as Mr. Huckabee comes to give you a facilities update, at your desk, I did print out in pre-filled bills that the Senate and the House, if you know the process, they start doing those in December. These are not all the bills by any means, but these are the ones that are directly related to education. So I wanted you to kind of see where we're headed with the new legislative session that will be starting in January. So you have the ones there that were pre-filed for the Senate as of December the 10th, and the pre-file for the House was actually the 16th, so it was this week. So you can see those, and as you read over those, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer those for you. Okay. All right, Mr. Huckabee.
Good evening. Just a few updates. We'll start with the district modernization project. Phase 1A is complete. Phase 1B, we're finishing up now. We expect that subcontractor will finish with our mechanical and HVAC next week before Christmas. When we come back from the break, we'll start working on punch list and doing closeout, and we expect we'll close everything out on 1B by the end of January. Phase 2, all the contracts are submitted. They're starting line sets and hangars, trying to get a sort of a jump start. They'll be going from school to school, working evenings and holidays, weekends, all that, just in anticipation of the other things that will come in the summer. And we are expecting to be completely finished with phase 2 by the end of summer break. And last on that project, we had Mr. Brown come in and Schneider sent a videographer down to do a sort of a promotional video, informational video that we'll be able to share to show what phase 2 will do, what phase 1 and 1B and 1A have done, and also use that same footage at the end of phase 2 to kind of do a comparison before and after video. So as soon as we get the finished product on the first video, we'll be sure to share that with you. On the next slide, fire alarm upgrade. Johnson Controls is currently working with their architect and electrical engineer that they'll have to do drawings that will need to be submitted to the Office of School Facilities for their approval. The four schools, Lake City High School, J. Paul, Ron McNair, and Lake City Early Childhood, those are still on track to be finished by the end of the summer, on June 30th. And then, once the new fiscal year starts, then we'll start on the remaining schools, with their final upgrades. Ward Memorial Stadium, we bid it out. We bid out the project last week. We actually had a pre-bid meeting yesterday. We had 5 contractors to attend that. They have until January 13th to submit their bids. We've already got a meeting scheduled on the 14th for us to review the bids and select the contractor. So by January 15th meeting, we'll be able to let you know who the contractor for that project is. And just yesterday, no, this morning actually, we got our report from S&NE, who inspected the old field house and confirmed that there is no asbestos in that building. So that's good news. We don't have to worry about the cost of abatement and the additional time of abatement. So we can go ahead and when they're ready, when the contractor's ready, start tearing that building down. And then the next slide, Ms. Howard mentioned playground equipment at Scranton Elementary School. Actually, the equipment's been installed at all 3 schools, Scranton, Olana, and J.C. Lynch. They are in use now. Over the Christmas break, we will have some mulch brought in and spread out to give us a little thicker base around that new equipment, just an added level of safety. And then the last slide is our project tracking spreadsheet that shows you all of our numbers, just to keep you updated on that. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer.
Beyond the stadium will be done for next football season?
That was discussed. Now the field house may not be done, and we've talked with the athletic department, Coach Estep and Coach Apicella, that for the first few games, they may have to dress at the high school and then bus them over. The field itself, scoreboard, all the field, lights, all that should be done. But we can't guarantee yet that the field house will be done. Because it kind of depends on it's a prefab metal building. So it depends on the lead time. Once that order is placed, after we select the contract, and then the order for the building is placed, it really just depends on the lead time and the weather.
How much concessions and restaurants and ticket booths all that be done?
Yes.
The field house be done?
Yes. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
And that concludes our presentations for tonight. I do hope everyone has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Board, at this time, I'll now entertain a motion regarding executive session.
I move that we exit to executive session.
I have a motion by Dr. Julia Mims and a second by Mr. Becky Yates. Is there any discussion? None being noted, all in favor to exit from open session and enter into executive session to discuss student discipline or potential legal matters, personnel matters, concerns with possible hiring, termination, resignation, placed on leave, or legal matters, say aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Board, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to exit from executive session and to reconvene in open session.
I'll make a motion to exit from executive session and reconvene into open session.
I have a motion by Ms. Rebecca Yates and a second by Ms. Rutha Frierson. Is there any discussion? None being noted, all in favor to exit from executive session and to reconvene into open session, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. There were no matters or actions that need to be taken from executive session. At this time, Board, I'll entertain a motion regarding adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion by Dr. Julia Mims and a second by Ms. Rutha Frierson. Is there any discussion? None being noted, all in favor to adjourn, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. Thank you.
Get some soul.